veteran Republican strategist, live from Tel Aviv. Hey, Bill, thanks for joining us live from the Holy Land. How you doing this morning, my friend?
I got to tell you, Joe, they do it right here in Israel. It's 75, sunny, and beautiful.
Oh,
I have to think if we were voting when it was like this, I think you'd see some increased numbers. But this is it's a beautiful day here, and I'll tell you what, Tel Aviv is hustling right now. It is bustling.
Man, well, and I know you're a veteran American political operative. What are you doing there in Israel? Are you helping one of the parties, or are you just there observing, sir?
I have some good friends that work closely with the prime minister here, so I'm here in support. You know, when you have an opportunity to check out how they run things and they run their elections in other countries, you know, you take that opportunity. I've done my fair share of campaigns in the States, and to kind of be a fly on the wall here and at what is hopefully going to be a victory party tonight, I always jump at an opportunity like that. So we're here. We're going to be at the Likud, hopefully, victory party tonight. But I think, you know, this is going to be a very interesting election here, very contentious, very competitive. You know, the prime minister here is in for the fight of his political life.
Well, and how does it look for Bibi and Likud?
Well, what's interesting is 5 years ago when Bibi was running for re-election, he was projected to lose, come in second place, and have about a 4-seat margin between him and the winner. He wound up winning with a six-seat margin. So, you know, I think there is a Trump factor here where there are things and people that are not being picked up in the polling. Right now, the polls have him down to a pair. One is a retired general. One's a politician, the Blue and White Party, and they're pulling ahead right now. But you know, it's going to be interesting because they have proportional representation here in Israel, so it's very different from where we come from. So they're going to, whoever wins, is going to have to put together, find 61 people. There are 120 seats in the Knesset here. You have to find 61. To form a government, and that's empowering some of these smaller parties that can actually make a play and hold some of these ministers' positions here. So Israeli politics is really fascinating. It's great to be here on the ground to see it all happen. Yeah. And it's going to be an interesting night.
You know, Benny Gantz is a pretty accomplished general. It's no secret that security is a pretty important issue to Israeli voters, to put it mildly. You, Bill Cortese, are a Marine as well. Thank you for that, sir. Tell me how you think Gantz and his military people will resonate with voters.
Well, Gantz is running on a team, the Blue and White Party, with a couple of other retired generals as well. And I think their thinking was that was probably Bibi's strongest factor, was that he was going to protect you. Right. And if you're able to take that away from him, then he's stuck with dealing with an indictment. He's stuck in dealing with some other challenges that he's had as prime minister. So I think now, with that said, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have neutralized that. Bibi is running on a platform that, you know me, you know the type of leader I am. Benny Gantz and Yair Lapid are running, and they are saying that they're going to split the premiership. So the 5-year term, that one will be prime minister for 2.5 years, the other will be 2.5 years, and some voters are turned away by that. That doesn't seem like leadership to them to split the premiership like that. So it's cutting in interesting ways here, but at the end of the day, people have to get out and vote. Voting election day here in Israel is a public holiday, so people do have it off. Usually you see
that's great.
The high 70s. A couple times you've seen it in the 80%. So they're expecting a big turnout here today.
So explain to us, Bill, and we appreciate your time, man, how Bibi can win if Likud wins. There's like kind of a situation that plays well in Israel that we don't know about in America, election-wise, that will put Bibi in power, even if he doesn't get the most votes. Is that right?
That's correct. If Bibi can assemble, going back to what we mentioned before, 61 votes to make him prime minister, he does not have to win a plurality. Wow. He just needs to be able to piece together 61 votes. And what's interesting is you've seen these dynamics where there is a threshold here. So any party that reaches 3.25% receives 4 seats in the Knesset. So that is the minimum threshold. So all these, you're going to see any number of parties. It could be 6, 7, 8 different parties that are going to have a different number of seats in the Knesset. And from there, you're going to have some of these minor parties that are going to have some leverage in terms of making a deal and saying, well, Bibi, I will join the coalition if I can be the health minister, if I could be the defense minister. And that's when some of the horse trading takes place, and that is the essence of the system. But you have people like a guy named Moshe Feinland, who is a nationalist type of guy, but his one big issue is legalizing marijuana, and he has picked up a lot of support. So here's a guy who wants to annex the West Bank, but also wants to legalize marijuana throughout the state of Israel, and could very well hold a very important position and could play kingmaker in this election.
Wow. Hey, Bill, so it's about almost 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Israel. What time do the polls close and we'll start getting some formidable results?
We should start to see something around 8 o'clock tonight, local time. It's almost 2 o'clock here. So, there's still a lot of time left on the clock for people to get out and vote.
All right, cool.
But I think we'll start to see within the next 4 or 5 hours what these numbers could be.
All right, Bill, completely unrelated. I have to ask you about Jersey because I'm a Jersey guy, if I may. And the last time I saw you, you were having lunch with Bruce Dyfek, former owner of the Ocean Resort Casino. Yesterday, we learned that he died in a car accident in Colorado. Did you hear that? Bruce?
I did hear that, and it is, I think all of us who, number one, live in Jersey, number two, have our hearts in Atlantic City. Really, number one, send our deepest condolences to Bruce and his family.
Yes.
But Bruce was willing to bet on Atlantic City, and it didn't work out the way we wanted. But he stepped up to the plate when other people didn't.
Yes, he did.
And and you can't say that about a lot of people. And he really put his. I mean, very well. I know very well. Frankie knows that Bruce put a lot into that building and into that effort. And those of us, and that spend a lot of time in AC, really appreciate it. And it's really heartbreaking to hear what happened.
Yeah, man. And I know Atlantic City is good, if not better than anybody. And Bill, listen, I'm calling you Bill Cortese. It sounds Italian. Do you mind? I love that. Cortese is good.
It is. You're saying it the right way. You're saying it the right way. I think it was an Ellis Island special when my great grandfather came over from Naples and
changed our names. Yeah, that's so funny. Hey, Bill.
So you're actually saying it the right way.
Well, listen, thanks again for your service as a United States Marine, and thanks for filling us. And give John McLaughlin our best if you see him over there. And keep up the great work, Bill. If you hear anything, you got the number. Please call Frankie and I at the radio station. And thanks for joining us this morning, Bill Cortese.
Joe, thanks so much.
All right, Bill Cortese right there.